Welcome to DHN. I'm your host, Wade Teamer. Today, we have XDC's Impel bringing a U.S. regulated stablecoin to the network. Hedera adds a very powerful new council member in the form of Arbiden. And we asked the question of, is Binance BNB coin a buy after this weekend's recent attack? Current crypto market sitting just under $1,938,000,000,000, 40 billion in volume over the last 24 hours. XRP continues its strong week, up 17% over the last 7 days. Bitcoin still stagnant at 20K. Has anyone else noticed how the main payment coins have still been sustaining that rally recently? I'm preparing a video that will focus on all the other payment coins, the lesser spoken about coins that you need to know. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss that video. Now, let's get into some news, starting with XDC and this US regulated stablecoin. So, the blockchain and fintech development company Fluent Finance, which is also behind the regulator-friendly US Plus stablecoin, has entered into a formal partnership with Impel in order to bring the US Plus stablecoin to the XDC network. Impel will be handling the technical aspects of the integration. In addition, Fluent has already formed a number of partnerships with financial institutions based in the United States in order to integrate US Plus into the core banking systems of those institutions. They will then be connected to the XDC network. On the XDC network, US Plus will be able to provide robust and dependable liquidity thanks to the finance partners of Fluent. A federation of banks have been established by Fluent with the purpose of minting and redeeming US Plus onto and off the XDC network. US Plus incorporates real-time audits and smart contracts and keeps a 1-to-1 ratio with the US dollar by keeping sufficient bank reserves on hand. Because it is backed by fiat currency that has been deposited with these federated banking partners that have been vetted, it eliminates the counterparty risk barrier that has contributed to the stalled approval of stablecoins within the traditional banking system. If Fluent's US Plus protocol can be successfully integrated into core banking systems, financial institutions will be able to reap the benefits of the stablecoin in a setting that is both regulated and low risk. In addition to Fluent's traditional finance partners, the XDC network is an obvious choice for Fluent to work with as a strategic partner given its design for providing enterprise-level financial services. Both Impel's ISO 200 financial messaging API, which provides the capability of optional instant settlement, and its R3/4 XDC network bridge will benefit from the addition of US Plus as a complementary service. So let's jump over to Fluent's website, because as juicy as this story is, it left me with a few questions, mainly, who are these Federation member banks? Well, I couldn't find any specific names. What I did find out, though, is that this company is fairly new. Their first funding round took place in April of 2020. This was done with White Loop Capital and Arcanum. White Loop I didn't find much about, but Arcanum is an investment firm out of India. XDC has been very active in India for a long time. They just finished up that hackathon over there, and the Central Bank of India has also announced that it's looking to put forth its digital rupee, its CBDC, sometime in 2023. XDC in India are a lock-in for sure, but what about this US stablecoin? Well, it was built by Fluent. It's supposed to be regulated 1-to-1 with the US dollar. Federation member banks agreed to fully back any reserves with their own money. Now, when trying to find out who these member banks could be, the only thing I could find is that Corda does use Fluent as a private banking channel for its banking partners. This would mean that institutions like ING, HSBC, Wells Fargo, they can make use of this. On top of that, you also have JP Morgan developers working all throughout both ecosystems, R3 and XDCs. The way I see it, it could be any number of banks that could be a part of this federation. That in and of itself is a good thing to see. But here's what really puzzled me. Okay, I looked into the team behind Fluent. You have 3 co-founders, Bradley Allgood, Jamie Plata, who is a Hedera MVP, which basically means he's a global ambassador for Hedera, and Oliver Gale. Mr. Oliver Gale co-founded Panther Protocol, one of the fastest growing VCs in the space, and he also co-invented central bank digital currencies. Now, I had to go and look this up just to make sure, and Ladies and gentlemen, alongside a gentleman by the name of Joseph Pepe Rafaj, they co-wrote the original white paper on central bank digital currencies back in the year 2000. Story gets way deeper, folks. We've been talking about it all day in the Diamond Hustle group chat, but I'll just say this. Fluent coming to XDC is pretty interesting. Next, let's get into Hedera's new council member, guys. Today, investment company Arbitrum became the first buy-side finance and asset management company to join Hedera's governing council. Arbitrum is currently investigating possible futures for the tokenization of investment funds through the use of Hedera, with the intention of listing these on a digital exchange in the near future. Arbitrum, which has more than 5,000 employees around the world, will give the council new ideas about how to govern financial services. Unlike banks and other participating financial institutions, asset management firms have fiduciary responsibilities, which makes governance more difficult. There are specific structural inefficiencies in the fund management industry that could be fixed with DLT. Arbitrum could work with other council members that provide services to the fund management industry, such as banks, law firms, and technology companies to drive this change. So as far as banks, law firms, and tech companies, you got Nomura, you have DLA Piper, ServiceNow is a tech company that works with Hedera. So we'll see a number of collaborations coming from Arbitrum, guys, and they have an interesting story behind them. The company has been acquired several times, but the most interesting acquisition would actually be Barclays. And according to the information I found, this took place in April of this year. Both companies operate in the UK, so this is not too surprising, but it is nice to be able to say that one of Hedera's council members is owned by Barclays. And if we're keeping score, this is now 2 channels that I know of where Barclays has exposure to a digital asset. Algorand through Copper Custody, and now Hedera through Arbitrum. Hedera has been making a lot of moves recently. Good to see. Next, let's get into Binance. If you ask me, BNB is definitely a buy because I genuinely believe that it will be a financial powerhouse in the next couple of years. They're expanding into many countries after a year and a half of battling regulations in those same countries. But over the weekend, a bit of an exploit occurred. Somehow, 2 million BNB coins were printed out of nowhere. The attackers only had time to move the funds once before BNB detected the malicious activity. This was around 5 p.m. I know because CZ took to Twitter to give details on what was happening as it was happening. This is when we got word that BNB chain would be halted until the situation was handled. Of course, Twitter responded as Twitter does, but there was also a very strong level of support for BNB. So by now, it's around 6:45 p.m. CZ tweets out the details on the actual amount missing, how it went missing, things like that. But by 8 p.m., guys, CZ tweets out the entire ordeal is now over. The BNB chain will resume as normal. Now, this year, we've seen some pretty bad hacks, okay? We've seen some pretty bad attacks, but these were on relatively smaller decentralized projects. The number valued for this attack is currently sitting at 600 million, pretty close to the Terra Luna situation. However, with Terra, it took them weeks to deal with that problem. Binance did it in 4 hours. I know 3 years isn't a long time to be in the space, but I've never seen anything like that, folks. All their partnerships and global deals to the side, this was an operational showcase in the power of the BNB technology itself. I remember Bitcoin had a hack back in 2013 that took them about 8 to 10 hours to fix. That's the only other instance I can recall where something was mended that quickly. So interesting, guys, interesting. Do I think it's a buy? Absolutely. I have an Elite 8 video coming out later this month. It's going to explain to you why. But with that, guys, that's all I got for this one. What are your thoughts? Let us know down in the comments. Of course, while you're at it, don't forget about your DHN Crypto Journal for 2023. Also, our Diamond Hustle members get access to exclusive crypto documentaries. One of them is about Binance in Russia. And education. Just click the join button under this video to learn more. And now, to all my digital hustlers worldwide, you know what I'm going to tell you. Have a great day. Have a prosperous day. And most importantly, if that money is digital, so is the hustle. I'll see y'all in the next video.
I think fundamentally, I think crypto blockchain is a new technology that can it's a new technology for ledger system for like a trust building, but the first application is really just money, right? So it's like internet can do many different things, but the first application is just for information exchange. And so I think with crypto, we can really improve the money that we have. And then when you improve the money, you improve the financial sector, then you improve the fintech, and then you improve every other sector. So I think we have many drawbacks on the current money system that we have. It's not very easy to do cross-border transactions. It's not very easy to do large transactions, small transactions. So I think for me, we just want to increase the freedom of that, freedom of money. And while hopefully not sacrificing compliance, safety, security, ease of use, etc. So that's really like what we try to contribute to. And then we want to provide people access to this new technology. And that's what we try to do.